All right, let's talk about posture, which is the basis and fundamentals for all of our strokes and is so important. It's also the basis for courage and confidence. So I want you to sit down on the floor with me right now, and I want you to slump over and imagine trying to paddle a really difficult rapid and finding your courage and your confidence slumped over. Right? This is like sad. This is like drawing in. This is deflated. Okay? This is, all right, I got this. I can do this. I trust myself. Right? So try that. I want you to slump over, and then I want you to sit up, and I want you to feel the difference, not just in your body, but in your mindset. And the two are connected in any case, okay? So it's one of the reasons why posture is so important in whitewater kayaking. It's to get the mindset in the right spot so you can take on something challenging, so you can feel confident. And I'll include a link to a TED Talk that talks about the importance of body positioning to mindset, all right? In kayaking, so here I am in my kayaking position, and I'm doing this out of the boat so you actually see, okay? So, back bend is not a back rest, right? We all know this. So we actually want to be sitting on our sits bones and have our pelvis anteriorly tilted, okay? Which means sticking your butt out like you're booty dancing, creating a little bit more of a lumbar curve here. And what I like to think about is your sits bones, the bony protrusions that you sit on. All right, you're going to press those down into the floor. This is an alignment principle in PT and in yoga. You press down to then be able to rise up, right? We don't, a lot of people will think of, oh, I'm going to sit up straight, and what they do is they push their chest out, their front ribs out. Well, that's not sitting up straight. That's just creating more of a curve in the low back. So you press down to rise up, okay? And you'll notice that when you press those sits bones down, your thighs will engage. So when you stick your butt out like you're booty dancing, your thighs are going to engage, which is awesome. That's what we want. So sitting up nice and straight in a kayak means rooting down to rise up. That engages the thighs, right? And we think about rising up the crown of the head, not thrusting our front ribs forward, okay? Because there's a big difference. And then we think of our 5 points of contact: feet, thigh braces, hips, butt in our seats, and back band, okay? And then we're ready to go. So super important, posture. And then to Stacy's point or question about the parts of a stroke, okay? CPR, catch, propulsion, release. And all three are equally important. A lot of folks will think that the propulsion phase is the most important. All three are equally important to have a good, quality, steady, strong stroke. Okay, and I'll go over those when we on voiceover with me demoing the strokes. When you're looking, so to see if you can improve something, you can look at CPR, catch, propulsion, and release. The other thing you can look at are the 3 B's: body, boat, blade. Okay, and so we'll cover CPR and body, boat, blade. Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start with the forward stroke. Always remember that posture is the first thing. And then you'll see me come onto the screen here. So right here we've got catch, propulsion, release. 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 Well, I didn't really release, but supposed to release. So catch, paddles close to vertical, and I'm wound up. Unwind, propulsion, release at the just after the hips, and I'm ready for the next catch. Close to vertical, I'm wound up. Propulsion, unwind to the hip, release at the hip. Wound up for the catch. Right? Propulsion through the core, release. Wound up, catch, propulsion, release. Right? All body. So the body is twisting. The arms are an extension of the body. The paddle is close to vertical. Right? And I'm looking ahead. So what I want you to notice about my forward stroke is that I'm moving the boat, not the blade. And that's so important. I plant and rotate, plant, rotate, plant, rotate. Okay? We want to move the boat, not the blade. So here with the sweep stroke, which is our basic turning stroke, right? If you look at my right arm, it's staying pretty straight. I'm not pulling. I'm planting and rotating and the boat is moving. So here we have the wind up, not just with my arm, but with my body for the catch. Catch, propulsion with the core. My body is rotating and I can tell my boat is moving. Release at the stern. That's a full sweep. Right? And my boat moved through the water. There wasn't a lot of splash. There wasn't a lot of water movement if you look at my paddle. Again, I wind up to the catch. So here's my catch. Entire blade is in the water, which is important in all strokes. Rotate. Unwind for the propulsion. Propulsion comes from the core, not the blade. Release all the way at the stern. This time I'm looking in the direction I want to go. You can do either when you're practicing the sweep. You can look at the blade or look in the direction you want to go. We're with the reverse sweep. So I'm wound up and I catch my entire blade in the water. My paddle is more horizontal for these strokes. Unwind to the release, to the front, and then I release. Okay, and my boat is moving, not the blade so much, right? There's not a lot of splashing. So again, wind up, plant, so catch. Propulsion comes from the core. You can really see it here. And release, just lift that blade right out of the water. Here's one of my favorite strokes. I use it all the time. It's the stern draw. Plant at the hip, that's catch, rotate, propulsion, release at the stern. This is going to be the most efficient turning stroke, right? And I like to think of spear the fish for the catch. Rotate back, release at the stern. Okay, this is your stroke, your go-to stroke for ferries, maintaining your angle in a ferry, for quick turning, right? So this is a really, really important stroke. All right, so this is all about momentum, right? Having strong strokes and effective strokes so that we can take fewer of them, but still be very powerful. So we just worked on posture, and I introduced CPR, catch, propulsion, release, of the most basic strokes: forward, forward sweep, reverse sweep, stern draw. Reviewing the basics is what's going to make you a better paddler. So don't skip this. Don't think that you already know this stuff. Go out and practice, and we'll build from here. And I'm going to add some stuff in the email. You might have already read it. And so this is your work this week. Focus on the basics, and we'll build from there. All right.